What is up guys, Wraec here with a new video, and today we are here in front of beautiful Rustport on the Pioneer server, and we are going to talk about my top 5 heroes for this upcoming season, Waves of Intrigue, the heroes that you definitely want to have or should have to do well in this upcoming season. Let's start off with the first hero. And the first hero, who else could it be? Wrathful Nara. Definitely the hero that in all of the previews that we did for the new heroes has convinced me the most. She has some insane abilities. If it is in PvP or in PvE, especially in AFK stages, she has also convinced me. Pulling enemies towards her and really making a whole lot of mess on the battlefield. She has the ability to basically pull every enemy towards her and just start hitting them super hard, throwing down entire anchors on them and finishing off those enemies once they are at below 40% HP, it was, I believe, and she does so fairly well. It is quite surprising how efficient she is. You just saw it there, finishing off the fight super fast. And sometimes you even miss it before it even happens. You just see that some red HP bar moves over to your side and this enemy is instantly gone. I think she will have a very big impact on the upcoming PvP meta and may even be one of the heroes we look out for in PvE. So she is definitely up there and she's definitely a hero don't want to miss. And also, well, the design is just, such insane. And if you saw her in the trailer, the character trailer, that is just absolutely madness, and also very nice headwear, by the way. Can't miss that, so definitely have to summon her. We'll do that in a live stream. That is definitely a must-have. Let's go to the next hero. And our next hero is Koko. Koko is probably a contender that many people might have already forgotten about. We've mostly used her at the beginning of the last season, but I fully expect her to be back. At the beginning of the last season, we were hit with a situation well, that was a little bit unexpected. It was quite hard to survive against the Dream Realm bosses, but given that the accounts were a bit progressed, we had the start of the game already behind us. Koko was one of the units many people had, and she has a very nice ability, which that she gives the heroes in your team 45% damage reduction and life drain, and also if you have the Mythic Plus version, you also get a shield, and then we also get some vitality if we have Supreme Plus. So what she really is a massive unit that makes your heroes super tanky, while at the same time also giving them some extra attack, making them deal more damage. So overall an insane buff unit that was used in many fights, and is right now still used against Alpha Bear. So even against some of the bosses she saw use, especially well at the start in Dream Realm, especially against every single boss really, and then against the Primordials, against Alpha Bear, she came back. And I think ever since I saw her in most Primordial teams, at least for some time. Maybe later on there was the development of a meta where she was gone, but you saw those shields everywhere. Those are the shields, by the way, that she provides, and those are very tanky, and she's definitely a hero you want to have for the start of the next season, because I definitely see her make a comeback in Dream Realm and against the Primordials. And with that, I also have to say the Primordials seem to arrive rather early next season, so might be a wise idea to prepare her as soon as possible, really. Maybe even start this season and get a few copies of her. Would probably be a very good idea. And there she is, Savvy Support. You can see, yeah, there's not really a whole lot of heal, not really a whole lot of damage. It always seems, if you look at something like this, that she didn't do anything, but believe me, if you take her out of the team, there is a huge difference. And with that being said, she is an A tier, so you always have the option to just go into the Emporium Dream Store, and she is one of the heroes in there, so it is possible to just get her there, get a few copies, 15 every single month, and yeah, you can easily upgrade her and get her to proper level easily. Hero number 3, and I don't have to say much about this guy, you guys all know him. It is Odie. Formerly in the beta I saw it was Eddie. Interesting. Both pretty fitting names, I have to say. And he is one of the best damage dealers in the game. He is an absolute unit if you go into AFK stages, known for his poison effect and the insta finishing off of enemies with said poison, and definitely probably the most insane unit from the start of the game. Now slowly power crept by other heroes. We saw him towards the end game, the endless game modes, being beaten out by Marilee, sometimes by Corrin, the true damage heroes. But at the start of the season, he, with his huge multipliers from his poison effect and from his ult and normal attacks and everything, is always like one of the best damage dealers. I fully expect him to come back next season and to once again be a menace. So maybe once again upgrade him to +10, that is a nice spot for him, maybe +15 if you have the resources, and then you will have a great season start and probably regain a lot of those resources from the early Dream Realm positions. Same really for Tene. Tene also an insane damage dealer, more towards the end of the season, and even while we were in the true damage meta, in the true damage area, she managed to creep in there and be one of the best damage dealers for quite some time. Now she's used against less bosses, but I think she will also make a comeback together with Oli as top damage dealer at the start of the season. There is some interesting tech though, even right now with her. While we of course see her in the Ravaged realm, I also like to use this setup against King Koko. We can watch the fight right here and use her as the unit to tank the ball that King Koko throws at you, the one-shot ball, because she can just revive, which is such an incredible ability for her. I would just love that they fixed this little bug. You can see it, just the little arrow above her head was just removed, even though she is in the arena. That is still a problem, but I think, yeah, maybe I can live with it. Still, she provides insane damage if you put a healer next to her, and utility with her revives as well. I think at the start of the next season, she will clearly make a remake with all the magic damage that she provides, with the high multipliers, with the barrage of fire flames that she throws at the enemy. I think she will surely make a comeback. We can see right here, 51 billion, still absolutely insane damage. Just out damaged by our next hero, Lily May. And even though we saw Lily May only towards the end of this season, she was definitely a blast. She basically took most game modes by storm. She went into PvP, she went into PvE, was used in Dream Realm, destroyed every single boss. And that was, interestingly enough, there was a bug before, not with her gear, but with her exclusive equipment, where she dealt less damage, I think if you were between +10 and +15. A very weird bug, where when you were in this specific zone, she dealt quite bad damage, and only if you were at +15 or beyond, or before +10, she would deal her real damage. And I even thought she was great while I had her with this bug. This was like absolute madness. And once they fixed her, she basically became the go-to damage dealer, which is not only due to her being an S-tier magic damage use with her 3 range, which is not too impressive, but because she can reduce energy, she has unaffected status in the meantime, skills that cannot be interrupted, she has true damage, she has a lot of stuff. In PvP, her most feared ability is really the blocking of the first ult that the enemy does. She just stops it. She basically was the first counter to Iron Team and is now still a counter to many teams, and an absolute monster if you get hit by her damage in PvP. We also saw her in the Nara fight. I think the combination of her and Nara could be very interesting. Just blocking some ults and then jumping in and hitting an enemy with true damage could be very insane. So I'm definitely looking forward to that. So this was my list. Let me know down in the comments below, please, which heroes you want to use in the next season. I guess many of you guys are looking forward to Dunlinger. I am too. Even though Nara convinced me a little bit more, I am also looking forward to Dunlinger. Which are your favorite heroes? Write that down as well. And if you're hyped for the next season, maybe, because I certainly am, just 4 more days. Don't forget about Ravaged Realm is the last thing I want to say. That ends today. So Ultimate Siege, your last chance to get the game mode. If you're unsure about what to do there, watch yesterday's video. I basically explained everything there, or the videos I made for every single faction, so that you have all the info that you need to get top loot there. So with that, I wish you a great day, and we'll see us in the next one.